also bauble them, discarding one of my fetch lands. Sorry, this is a little hard to navigate because there's a lot going on. A lot going on. Even interrupter. Okay, nice. Well, they're out. Hello everyone, it's your favorite Bird Serpent Rider. I'm the Control Guy, and I'm back with another video for you guys. I've not been here in a while, I'm really sorry. I've been very busy for the past couple days, so there's definitely going to be like a week at least gap between the last video and this one. But that being said, you guys have been smashing those views on my past couple videos, and I really appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all your support. You don't understand how much it means to me. That being said, as for announcements, there's not much to announce. Control Guy channel probably is going to go back to more like weekly uploads. I want to do more for sure, so we'll see. It's going to be a little inconsistent, but the last 4 videos or so were like powered out with like 2 to 3 days between them each, or 4. I'm not too sure how it was, but that's not going to be I'm not going to be able to keep that up anymore because I'm getting more hours at work again now, so oh well. That being said, we are rapidly approaching 1k, and at 1k subscribers, I will be doing the budget Teferi cosplay. So if you want to see me in a really bad paper-crafted Teferi cosplay, it's coming soon. It's gonna happen soon. Actually, it's actually so close that I should start thinking of what deck I want to play for that video, but oh well. That being said, let's jump right into this cool video. This deck is really spicy, and I really enjoy it, so let's see how it goes. Alright, today, we are playing an interesting deck. So, on the surface, this is Bant control, nothing too crazy. But, while crafting and tinkering with my Eldrazi control deck, I stumble upon this creature called 6 from MH3. It's pretty good in that deck. I've only played one in the Eldrazi control deck now, but this card has interesting abilities. So, it does 2 things. It mills you and returns lands from your graveyard to your hand, so it makes it so that you can like not miss your land drops. But it also says during your turn, non-land permanent spells in your graveyard have a retrace. For anyone who doesn't know what retrace does, it says on the side. But retrace says you can cast the card from your graveyard by discarding a land. Notice how, unlike flashback, it doesn't exile the card. So obviously retrace is powerful on instant and sorceries where you can just keep retracing them. But it doesn't bring it onto the battlefield with a finality counter. It doesn't care. If your permanent is in the graveyard, it can just be cast over and over again as long as you have lands in your hand. So we are playing a Bant control shell with some powerful permanents that we can just retrace back onto the battlefield. We have Vexing Bauble, which I really like Vexing Bauble for the show and tell matchup, but it's not great when you can't recur it. With 6, you discard a land, you play Vexing Bauble from the graveyard, you crack Vexing Bauble, draw a card. If that's a land, you get another land, do it again. Same goes for Mishra's Bauble. 0 mana artifact, look at the top of a card of your opponent's or your library, draw a card in the next upkeep. If you have multiple lands in play and one of these in your graveyard, you can just turn those lands into new cards because you can cast it, crack it, discard land, cast it, crack it, discard land, and keep going, keep doing that. Static Prison, I think this is one of the better Static Prison decks. Static Prison is a really good removal spell that is only temporary because it destroys itself after a while. But with 6, you can just start cycling Static Prisons. You can let your Static Prison die intentionally in the first main phase, keep the energy, and then recast it from the graveyard by discarding a land card. Obviously, you guys know Tamio. It's an amazing creature. If you have a Tamio in your graveyard, get it back for one mana and discarding a land. It's really good. And then Solar Lantern, just a little bit of graveyard hate just in the main deck. A lot of decks care about their graveyard at the very least, and some decks base their entire win condition on their graveyard. So if you just have one of these in your main deck, it can't be that bad, and the enter the battlefield ability can be relevant sometimes, especially against like Flages or stuff like that. And then again, it has the Vexing Bauble line. Well, actually, no. Vexing Bauble has the Soul Guide Lantern line of pay 1, sacrifice, draw a card. So you can loop this with 6 as well, which is really good. Yeah, other than that, we got some counterspells. I think I want just counterspell as my secondary spell to mana drain, simply because 2 mana is just such a good good point to counter a spell at. We're running a Wrath of the Skies package because we have Static Prisons, but we have one Supreme Verdict just in there as well, just as a big sweeper. Then we have some more really good permanents to get back with 6. Also, if I say Ren and 6 accidentally, that's because Ren and 6 is the Planeswalker that 6 is part of. Ren is a Dryad and 6 is a Treefolk, and they combine to be Ren and 6. So yeah, but yeah, I will accidentally say Ren and 6, but this is just 6. Anyway, that being said, get your Teferi back from the graveyard. Get your Uros back just to cycle them if you want to. Discard a land card to put Uro to cast Uro again and get another land, draw a card that gets you another land card, and so on. You can do that, or you can just return Uro from the graveyard with all the land cards you keep discarding. Get Oko back from the graveyard. Yeah, these are some good play patterns, and because because 6 costs 2 and a green, if you mana drain a spell, you can use 2 of your mana drain mana for 6. So you can go turn 3 you mana drain something, turn 4 6 for 1 green mana basically, and then cast Oko from your graveyard or Teferi from your graveyard or whatever. In a control mirror, if they counter your first Teferi, you have as many Teferi as you have lands in the deck. It's just, yeah, in a weird way, 6 says you have as many permanents as you have lands in your deck. That's what 6 says in a weird way. And yeah, obviously, One Ring, you can just loop the One Ring and just draw a card with it, replace it with a new one. You get protection from everything for every turn for the rest of the game. Yeah, that's some late game stuff that you can do with this card. And don't forget, when 6 attacks, you mill 3 cards and put a land from among them into your hand, right? There's a good chance that between this mill and the One Ring draw, you will find an additional land that you can then use to get a new One Ring from the graveyard and legend rule the old one, which puts it in the graveyard. So there's a pretty deterministic line of when you have 6 and the One Ring, after turn 4, you're just going to have a One Ring and play every turn against aggro until you mill out of your 80 card Yorion deck. That's also the reason why we are a Yorion deck, by the way, because 6 mills you pretty hard. Not pretty hard, it's not that bad, but 6 mills you, and I figured that in a 60 card deck, first of all, I can't play enough permanents to support 6. Second of all, the mill kind of, you get there, where when you're actually starting to win the game with an Uro on the battlefield and stuff, you have like 7 to 13 cards left in your library, and you have to be careful with attacking with Uro and 6, right? Because Uro draws a card when he attacks, and 6 mills you when they attack. So yeah, then we just have some Solitudes. Again, you can bring Solitudes back from the graveyard, but as well, because of Solitude's alternate casting cost, I'm pretty sure Retrace isn't like Flashback, I think. Yeah, Retrace isn't like Flashback where it like adds a flashback cost to a spell. So an example right here would be Snapcast the Mage with Flare of Denial. You can't cast Snapcaster, target Flare of Denial, and then use Flare of Denial's ability to sacrifice a creature from the graveyard, because Snapcaster gives it flashback 1 and blue, which means you have to pay 1 and blue to cast it from the graveyard. Retrace works differently. Retrace says you cast the spell for its cost from the graveyard by also discarding a land card. So you can actually pitch a white card to Solitude from the graveyard by discarding a land if you need to. That's a play you can do. So if you have enough white cards in hand, because the Solitude kills itself when it enters after pitching, you can just pitch all your white cards, discard all your lands. When you've say you have like an 18 card hand because of the One Ring, you pitch all your white cards, discard all your lands to Solitudes from the graveyard, and just that's it. They just have no more creatures. So yeah, that's the thing you can do. I think the most powerful endgame thing we're going to be doing is looping One Rings, and yeah, we just beat down with Uro and Oko, and that's it. Matchup wise, again, turn 0 combo pretty good against us. If we're on the play and we start with a Vexing Bauble, at least they can't cast like Chrome Mox, I guess. If we start with a Soulguide Lantern, they actually can't just win. If we're on the play, if we're on the draw, we just have to pray. That's the way you can do. You have very smooth draws in this deck because Mishra's Bauble allows you to like target yourself. That's why I'm playing, I believe, how many fetches am I playing? 11 fetch lands. In the Yorion deck, I usually play like 10, but I'm playing 11 here just so that I can target myself with Bauble and then fetch if I don't like the card. You have Brainstorm and fetch lands, so you have a lot of consistency. You're gonna have very smooth, very smooth draws usually, unless the game really decides to, take it out on you. But other than that, the only card that I haven't explained yet is Cosmic Rebirth. Just another great card that just fits right into this deck. It's basically an instant spell that can get back either a Ren, a 6, that can start your engine, or you can get back an Oko or a Teferi at instant speed to win the game. Well, win the game as in, like, against a deck with counter spells, getting a Teferi at instant speed is winning the game. Also gains you 3 life as well. In the absolute worst case, it either gets you back a Mishra's Bauble, a removal spell, a Vexing Bauble, or a land. And yeah, it's just, I think Cosmic Rebirth is a great card in just a ban. It's a cool grindy card in a ban control deck. You could play Savinity's Reclamation here. In fact, let me actually quickly look into this. Alright, Savinity's Reclamation, you could play that. The thing about Savinity's Reclamation, or Savine's Reclamation, depends on how you want to pronounce his name, is that it's a sorcery. Yes, you get the flashback thing where it returns 2 things from your graveyard, but I think I'd rather have the life gain from Cosmic Rebirth and the instant speed from Cosmic Rebirth. The instant speed really breaks Cosmic Rebirth, in my opinion. Basically being like a weird collected company for your permanents. Like, because you can target your Teferi on their end step, right? And also, Rebirth has the like bad mode of target something that costs more than 3 and return it to your hand. So you can just return a Ronwing to your hand or a Solitude to your hand if you need to. You don't need to put it on the battlefield if you don't want to. But yeah, I like this card. I think it's a very good card in decks like this. And when in late game situations where your Tamiyo gets back a Cosmic Rebirth, which then you cast, and it gets back a 6, which then discards your lands to get back 1 rings, that's when you're really doing it. So yeah, this deck, pretty stable, pretty cool. Always a big fan of Yorion. I love Yorion a lot. Definitely in my top 3, I think, creatures of all time, like in Magic. I really liked it. I actually really liked the original companion mechanic, which is very controversial. But yeah, I loved Yorion. I think it's such a cool card. It's such a cool idea to make your deck more inconsistent, to be allowed to play such a consistent win condition. And Yorion obviously is one of the companions that didn't really care about the companion nerf, because at the point where you want to cast a Yorion, you're already in the late game anyway, so you'll have the 8 mana to put him in your hand. So yeah, really love Yorion. Little side story there. One of my favorite creatures. Actually, give me one. Okay, I'm back. So basically, I just wanted to show you guys my dedication to the bit. There it is, my physical copy of Yorion. It's obviously mirrored, unfortunately, but I don't think I have a camera that can show you the non-mirrored version. But yeah, that's Yorion. This is from my as I played Paper Standard. This is my standard. I think Ikoria just dropped. I was playing a Fires of Invention Yorion 80 card Super Friends deck in Jeskai. So Jeskai Fires was Super Friends with Yorion. It was amazing. So the little tangent, I guess. That deck was amazing. It was so powerful in Standard back then, because Fires of Invention was obviously already a problem card. And basically Standard back then was kind of about how can you use Fires of Invention. Fires of Invention lets you cast spells that you have, if you have more lands than the spell's mana cost, you can cast a spell for free, but you only get to cast 2 spells a turn. Now, what happened is you would use your first spell to cast, say, a Planeswalker, Narset Parter of Veils, then use your second spell to cast Yorion for free. Before you do it, you activate Narset and get a card. Then you cast Yorion for free. Yorion blinks everything, including Narset and the Fires of Invention. When the Fires of Invention gets blinked away until end step, you get your turn back, because you don't have the restriction of 2 spells a turn anymore. Also, I think Fires also says you can only play at sorcery speed. But yeah, you can now play at instant speed, technically, even though it's during your turn. So you can cast another big spell during your turn, like an Elspeth Conquers Death back in the day, which then everything comes back to the end with Yorion. If you have like a Spark Double in your deck, you can have Spark Double copy Yorion, and then you can start making loops where every turn your card permanents start cycling in and out. I might try to build this deck in like Explorer. We'll see. If you guys want to see Yorion Sky Nomad Yorion Sky Nomad Planeswalker blinking, let me know. I'll play it in Explorer. But yeah, that is the story. Also, yeah, got them Ultra Pro Mu Yanling sleeves. Mu Yanling used to be my favorite Planeswalker. Really loved, I loved her story and her design. It was so cool. But yeah, that's some little control guy, real life Magic content, I guess. But yeah, enough of the tangent. Just wanted to let you guys know how much I love Yorion. And yeah, that's pretty much the deck though. I'll see you guys in the games. As for, did I talk about matchups? I think I did. If you play against Boros aggro, obviously you're just gonna want to find your removal early game, and then you want to wipe the board. Oopsal spells, you already know, they have to stumble. And then other control opponents, you have 6. And 6 is dies to source supply chance, I know, but honestly, 6 is a massive engine. Like, it's something that they don't expect, and that usually wins the game. So yeah, also Oko is just a very stable card, so that's how you win games. Anyway, I'll stop yapping now, and I'll get into the games. I'll see you guys there. Peace. It was a rank reset. I ended the season off in Diamond, so I'm back to Platinum. I actually got a lot of people talking to me about and commenting, like, not a lot, like 2 people commenting, asking me why I never push for Mythic and why I always play in Diamond. I just don't push for Mythic, that's it. I just don't play that much. I just don't play that much Magic, anymore. I used to, but not as much anymore. That being said, our opening hand, we go first. We have a removal spell, we have some surveillance. I think we're just going to lead on Surveil Land, target you with Bauble, and then see what happens. But this hand is decent. I could also lead on Soul Guide, but I don't think... Yeah, no, I'm going to lead on Mishra... Actually, I can always choose, because Mishra's Bauble is free. So Mishra's Bauble first, target you. If I see an Oopsal spell card, I'll lead on Soul Guide. That's not an Oopsal spell card, so I'm just going to lead on Surveil Land. Pass. Tamiyo. Tamiyo is decent. Yeah, I'll take Tamiyo, because I'm drawing an extra card as well. We drew a sword, which is actually really nice. So I'll play this. This is when they search a library, right? Okay, I'll play Tamiyo out, and then I'll hold up swords. Hope to draw a land next turn, but we shall see. It has flash, right? Yeah, okay. Beautiful, beautiful top deck. Okay, I'll just play the Soul Guide Lantern out, because I can. It's an extra draw. This actually threatened... Oh, I have to exile a card. Okay, cool. Didn't know that. Didn't know that it's a must, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. This Soul Guide Lantern threatens to flip Tamiyo next turn, because I can draw and draw. So that's actually pretty good. We're not very green heavy, so I don't really have to fetch more green here. Flash that in. I'm actually gonna do this now. Exile it and then search my library so they can't pose me. I don't need to hold anything up, I don't think. I'm just gonna fetch another archive and look for more land. The Bauble, I'll just bin a Bauble. They belong in the graveyard anyway. Alright. White Orchid Phantom. That's gonna hurt, but it's not unbeatable. See what they go after. They go after my green. Okay. I have 2 basics in the deck. Let's go with a blue. That hurts, but it's not unbeatable. We just have to hope that they don't start, you know, spamming it. I'm gonna flip Tamiyo here. Make a clue. I think I'm gonna start by drawing with this, because if I draw a counterspell, I'd want to hold up counterspell. They're not a graveyard deck, so this doesn't matter. Uro, okay. In that case, I'm gonna draw another. Flip Tamiyo, another Static Prison, okay. Well, next turn I get to Static Prison or something. I can survive one more White Orchid Phantom, but after that it's gonna be just straight land destruction. So I gotta be a little careful here. Spider's Headquarters was a decent draw though, because it's all colors. And it kind of makes them want to target this, which is good for me. They missed the land drop though, so they might be bottlenecked here, but we'll see. Okay, White Orchid. Mox. Current Mox is pretty good. But that makes me want to find a Wrath of the Skies. Yeah, they have a failure. So they are trying to just... Their game plan is bounce, blink stuff like White Orchid Phantom, and make it just hard for your opponent to play the game. But I found the Wrath, and they are not really like finding anything over there. Let me think. I think I want a land, though. I don't think I want... I think I'm gonna draw a card. Because I don't want to route this away anyway. Ooh, that is a land. Okay. Okay. That's really interesting. I think I'm... Oh, that's actually really interesting. So they're probably gonna flash in a Felia on the end step, right? So I actually kind of want to not get this thing blinking and killing my stuff. So I'm gonna just static prison the White Orchid Phantom. And I also have to be a little careful with them fetching. It doesn't really matter if they hit me with one of these guys, but I don't really want them getting any card advantage, if that makes sense. Also, that's actually kind of bad for me as well, because I just realized if I let this come back out of the static prison, they're gonna be able to blow up one of my lands again. So yeah, that's a failure. Thought so. Actually, wait, this actually can bounce any non-land permanent. That really sucks. So yeah, they can get their White Orchid Phantom back either way. That sucks to me. Brainstorm. I'll leave Brainstorm in my deck, because they're gonna shuffle my deck for me anyway. It's a little bit scary. Oh, what? They did that in combat. Never mind. They don't get anything. Oops. I thought they did it on the end step. Huh. Okay, sure, I'll take that. That's a minor misplay on their end. They should definitely not do that in combat and do it in the end step. Sorcerer speed removal. But that's just like basic magic. Can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hand. I don't think I really care. Bolted in. They have something else. Okay. I think this is where I... No, is this where I wipe the board? I don't think it is. I think I pay energy one more time. 1, 2. I pay energy, then I plus Tamio. I'm now threatening to draw half my deck already. So I think I play the One Ring here. Get my hooks in. They're just getting outvalued. Sure. That doesn't actually draw a card or do anything, really. I have protection from everything. They get to prevent Tamio from ulting. That's all they really get to do here. But... Oh, I could draw for a land. I'm gonna brainstorm for a land drop. I missed it. That's fine. Let's put Boros on top or something. Doesn't really matter. Alright, so next turn I'm going to give them back these permanents and then wipe their board. And that should pretty much be the game, because I have a One Ring and everything in play. Attack Tamio, down to 6. That's fine. They're going to hurt my mana base a little bit, but that's fine. I'm kind of using them here, because I know that this is going to blow up one of my lands. But that's going to shuffle away the second Uro, so I actually like this. They can have their failure back, resolve. They can have their thing here back. Blow up one of my lands, that's fine. I'm going to tap it for mana response. Yep, take action. There we go. Oh, I searched my library, so I get 1 card. Sure, that's fine. That's okay. I'm going to... I can hit a land up this turn still, so I'm gonna pay 0 into this, so I hold up 1 mana. There we go. Wrath of the Skies for 2, destroy everything, including their mana source. Wrath of the Skies, very good card against these white Taxis style decks. Very, very good card against them. Nice. And I find a Misty Rainforest. Yeah, and then I can pass the end step when if they try to flash something in, I'll have it answered. Yeah, I mean this game is pretty good for me. I don't really care. I'm always gonna cast everything. This doesn't even stop Tamio from ulting. I don't even think I waste a removal spell on it, honestly. Like, I'll just see what happens and see where this goes. Archon of Emeria. I can counter it, I guess. Sure. That's their whole turn, and then I'll just kill this, and then I get to keep Tamio. They're dead here. They probably know. No Ren this game. No 6 this game, I guess. Ghost Quarter. That's land destruction. Not bad. But I think it's over. I don't think lands matter anymore. I think we're past the point where lands matter. Sure. Destroy it. Decline. We're past the point where lands matter anymore, I'm pretty sure. Right, Hedge Maze. Like, they can obviously get me off of green entirely, which would suck, but don't forget, the lands are going to the graveyard, and I play Ren, which can just get lands back, so... Yeah. That's alt Tamio. Yep. Pretty good, if you ask me. Let's get our green source in, I think. If it lets me. Chuck that in, and then I think I'm going to draw with the One Ring as well. Sure. And then I can re-ring and hold up mana drain. That sounds good enough. Oh yeah, I can also bauble them, discarding one of my fetch lands. Sorry, this is a little hard to navigate because there's a lot going on. A lot going on.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Okay, nice. Well, they're out. Yeah. That was Tamiyo ult, but that's why we play 4 Tamiyos. A little hard to navigate these type of hands, to be honest. I wish there was like a hand button or something that I can just click and then I get like a grid view of all the cards in my hand, because this is a little hard to navigate. But yeah, they're never winning this. But then again, that's every control deck. I don't think it matters what deck we're playing here. If we have Tamiyo, we win the game. That's just how it goes. Their deck is like a nice attempt in my opinion, but not good enough. Their idea is turn 1 White Orchid Phantom with Chrome Locks and then blink it a couple of times, get your enemy out of basics, and then use Ghost Quarters as Wasteland. That type of strategy is like, it's like a goldfish thing where like it's really good when it works, but it's really bad when it doesn't. I think just having 2 basics in the deck is good enough to like not lose to this type of style. Obviously we don't have a basic forest, so in theory they could like, you know, screw us off green, but again, green isn't the color we really need. We need it, yeah, like we need green to win eventually, but we can also just win with Solitudes, so yeah. Also, we just got past the point where land destruction even matters. Here, I think my goal here is I'm going to cast another One Ring so I don't take damage from this, and then I'm going to start getting my actual lands back. Like, I'm going to start getting Hedge Mazes back with 6, and discarding my fetch lands to recast rings from the graveyard and just keep going. So yeah, GG. Alright, we have opponent going first. We have a removal spell on one. We have an okay hand. We have all creatures pretty much. But this type of hand is not bad, so we'll keep it. Flooded Strand, huh? Alright, what are we playing over there? Oh, Flooded Strand pass. Okay. Do I want to Flooded Strand pass as well? I think so. Let's see what they're playing over there. I don't think I need to play Tamiyo on turn 1. Like, I don't really need to. Like, this isn't the type of matchup where, well, presumably this isn't the type of matchup where I need to catch up in cards real quick, so I don't need to have an attacking Tamiyo. Boros is very interesting. Maybe they are an aggressive deck, not impossible. Yeah, they're Boros Energy. Okay, cool. Sure, that's fine. I don't think I need a turn 1 Tamiyo against Boros Energy. It's fine. Dash Ragavan would suck here, but other than that, we should be fine. Guide of Souls probably into Ocelot Pride. Nope, just Guide of Souls. Sure, that's good for me actually. Fetch a Meticulous Archive here. Get my white and blue source while surveilling. The Spar's Headquarters, the Tri-land, you really don't have to fetch for it a lot. I'm gonna bin this because I already have 4 lands in my hand. You don't have to fetch for it a lot. Bosages actually are out to thingy to Blood Moon, so we actually want to keep this in hand for a bit. But yeah, we're just gonna play this. Gonna fetch another white source here because white is more important in this deck. And then I'm gonna play, I think, Static Prison. And I'm not gonna play Tamiyo actually. I was gonna play Tamiyo originally, but then I realized I can hold up instant speed. I can hold up instant speed swords. So I think I'm going to do that instead, because in case they like Ajani or something, I don't want them to be able to flip it. My Tamiyo is really not that important in Boros. She blocks well, and eventually when she flips, she obviously turns off all the cats, but you don't have to have her in the early game. Static Prison, my Static Prison. Okay, sure. That's fine by me. Do your worst. And then, got something else. Amp Raptor, that's pretty good. Alright, what do you hit? Whiff, maybe? That's not a whiff, that's a failure. That's really good. That sucks. I think I'm gonna kill the Guide of Souls here. Alright. Sure. Okay, we draw that, that's fine. That lets us play Uro, ramp a little bit. Oh. That's a Wrath of the guys, love to see that. I don't think they're playing black, so I'm gonna just bauble them now. I can play around it and draw draw this in my on my turn, but I'm just gonna bubble them. It's fine. I don't think they're gonna play black for hand hate. Wrath of the Skies is very good here. That means anything that they play right now is gonna get destroyed. Play just fine. That's obviously a good thing in the late game, but we do have a soul guide lantern somewhere in the in the deck. And they're looking pretty out of gas here. Only issue obviously is if I Wrath them now, they get Flage back, which sucks a little bit. Also, they should have bounced their thing here to give Felia a counter. Actually, no, they shouldn't have, because that would have given me back mine. Never mind, I lied. So if I wipe their board... It's not great for me if I wipe their board, because then I just get flaged. And I think I lose to just getting flaged. If I wipe the board, they go up to exactly 6 permanents in graveyard, and then Flage can come back with haste and just kill me. I could get Uro in by playing out my Boseiju, risking Blood Moon, risking getting Blood Moon. I could also play 6 as a blocker. I could play 6 Tamio. I think I risk Blood Moon here, and I'm just gonna Uro Tamio. I think that's better. Bring back Uro. They probably can have a Galvanic Discharge for Uro here, but that's fine. I gain life and draw a card off of it. Yep. Oh, Lightning Bolt. What an interesting play. So we're just discarding cards now? Okay. Sure. I'm gonna think that means they have another Lightning Bolt in their hand, and they forgot that they only have 1 mana. Or maybe they're just trying to put cards in the graveyard for Flage. Do I want to play this Tamiya is the question. I think I will. Because I can flip her next turn and then Wrath of the Skies for 2. Let's see what they do here. It's always funny to see, like, okay, so they let me target something. I'm gonna target Felia because it's the better card. They're doing this to fill their graveyard for Flage, I think. Why else would they do that? You can't bring Flage back yet. Okay, Lightning Bolt. Now you need a land in hand to bring Flage back. Yeah, they had the double bolt, but they forgot that they only have 1 mana up last turn. Is your last card a land? Nope, it's just another Lightning Bolt, which you're just discarding again because... What are we doing? What's our game plan over there? Like, what's the difference between targeting Uro and my face there? Like, surely that Lightning Bolt... Yeah. Yeah, sorry, bro. That can't have been on purpose. So I was about to say... Alright, let's get some... Let's get a basic, actually, I think. Let's get a basic island, because I'm worried that the card in their deck is, like... I'm worried that the card they're drawing to is Blood Moon. So I'm going to attack with Uro here. Draw another Solitude. That's fine. I'll like that. Take 6. They're going to haste Flage, and I'm going to flash in a Solitude, and they're only going to get a Lightning Bolt out of it. They block. Okay. They're playing this very interestingly. I think you take 6. You're the aggro deck. Like, you really want to kill me. I'm lower than you. You want creatures on the battlefield. Like... Now he saved himself losing 6 life, but from now on, instead of Flage doing gaining me 1 life a turn because they can attack back with this thing, Flage is gaining me 3 life a turn. Yeah, I don't know about that. So they're gonna bring Flage back, which is all things we know, and then they are probably gonna concede to a Solitude because they just can't never come back from that. Yep, Arena Flage. Attack. Oh god, they're gonna get so blown out because they think they can move to combat, but they don't actually get a combat phase. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough, mate. And I drew a counterspell. I can decline this or I can take the action. I'm gonna take the action one more time. It doesn't really matter. Gonna move to combat. Attack. Oh, a Tamio. Nice. I can flip Tamio here. And hold up the counterspell. Yep. That is happening. Flip Tamio, hold up counterspell. Reason I'm not playing 6 here is because I first of all don't have lands in my hand. Second of all, I don't have permanents that I really need to get down there. So there's no point really in getting playing 6 yet. If I ever find like a 1 ring or so, I'll play 6 out. But for now, I don't need a. I'd rather just have counterspell available. And it's not looking great for them over there, by the way. If I haven't mentioned that yet. A backup Flage. I think I'll let this happen. Do I? No, I don't, because they don't have cards in graveyard. I just counter this one. They're gonna fall so far behind before this Flage can come back that I think I can just let that go away. And I'm just gonna let this tick out. Yeah, I'm just gonna let this tick out. I'm not even gonna. I could have given it up and then wrath this Felia away or whatever. I don't need to. I can just let it tick out and then exile it with Source to Plowshares while I'm drawing Harpman deck with Tamiyo, drawing cards with Uro, attacking, gaining life with Solitude. They're just so far behind here. And that's what I mean with Bant Control. Obviously, they played it really weirdly with their Lightning Bolts. But that's what I mean with Bant Control. Is like it's just such a stable deck. Like I'm just stably gaining more and more advantage, and eventually I'll just win because I'm just so far ahead. Like no 1 ring this game, but I'm still at like 6 cards in my hand. I think I just played a card, didn't I? Yeah, I played the counter spell. So yeah, I'm like 6 cards in hand. They have 1 card in hand. Like it's Bant Control really. That's why I like Bant Control so much. Again, for the longest time, it was between Bant and Jeskai for me, and Flays will pushed it towards Jeskai. But I also love Bant Control. Like, and Bant has had Uro forever, so yeah, good stuff. All right, opponent goes first. We have interesting hand. We have a Sacrifice on Brainstorm. We have one of those I can fix my hands where like I have 2 baubles and a fetch land, and I have Brainstorm. So this hand is basically just a free mulligan, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna keep it. If they're a fast deck, obviously you don't want to see this, but against a format that's like mid-range and slower, this type of hand is amazing because you can just change your hand to whatever you want it to be, if that makes sense. You get so much control over the cards you draw in the game. They've mulliganed, which makes me scared and think that they might not be playing lands, and they have not presented a land yet, so that actually is pretty bad. A 1 ring isn't going to save us here. Let's bauble ourselves to see if we have anything good on top. That's not good. I'm going to shuffle that away, and then I'm going to bauble them, because I want to replace these cards in my hand with maybe something useful. But yeah, this is not the matchup we want to see. I'm going to fetch Shock just in case. Like, if I top deck a Swords to Flash and they try to Elenda me, that's going to be good. I'm really looking for Soul Guide Lantern here, or anything. But yeah, if they don't have lands in their deck, it's just not a matchup we're really going to win. But that's something we already know, so there's really no point in complaining about it. Like, you will lose to the off player who's just going to... Oh, that's a hard crust grief. We don't have to concede yet. Hold on. This is winnable still. I thought this was going to be like a Balustrade Spy. A hard cast grief is not going to be enough to kill me. Although, obviously, this deck can just win off the top at any point, which is very scary, but... Let's see what they take here. They probably take the Static Prison because that instantly answers their creature, and then I get to maybe Tamiyo Storm, maybe not. Depends on what I draw. So they take Tamiyo because, okay, I don't know what they're scared of there, but sure, take Tamiyo. I'm going to Brainstorm in the end step just for better clarity on what I'm going to draw. I'm going to put away one of the 1 rings and probably... Okay, interesting. Both the 1 rings, going to draw one of the 1 rings and shuffle the other one away. I'm going to exile this grief right now. Which is risky, obviously. If this is just a setup for an Elenda, that's really bad for me. I shouldn't have done that if that was the case. But honestly, I don't really mind. What are they drawing over there? Rise Amalgam, that's a dead draw. Love that. I'm gonna fetch Shock, because again, I could always top deck a counterspell off of my Mishra's Bauble. I didn't, that's fine, it happens. Tap land, that's what we want to see. Now I get to play Uro. Obviously, I need them to stumble another turn. Life Total does not matter in this matchup, so I'm just gonna keep shocking in. Mana drain, that's great. So next turn, I'm holding up. I need them to... I kept Teferi in case they have like in case they cast a Charbelcher this turn. Oh, that's a Sorin. Is there an Elenda with it? There's no Elenda with it. Okay. That's good for me. Okay, do I bring Uro back then? Or do I think I bring Uro back, right? holding up mana drain. Didn't play a land last turn, so they would need to top deck or either have the spy in hand. But if they had the spy in hand, why the hell did they go for a hard cast Grief? I think they either need to top deck both spy and land, or top deck Elenda. I have answers to Sorin in the main deck. I have Static Prisons, so that's good. I think I'd rather Uro, because Uro is an answer to Sorin as well, because it just attacks Sorin to death. So let's exile these lands and like some of our baubles, and actually exile the creatures as well. Let's exile all our creatures because this deck plays Reanimate. I'm not holding up mana drain, which is a risk, 100%, but it's a calculated risk if that makes sense. I'm betting that they don't have land into Spy. They can't have land and spy here, and they can see because they see that Uro will kill Sorin, and yeah, they don't have land spy. I literally knew it. Also, again, that's my point with the current meta. When you're playing as a deck like this, just have to hope that your opponent stumbles. My opponent mulliganed to 6 this game. This deck is legally allowed to mulligan to like 4 or 3 and can still win the game on turn 1. So I think they should have mulliganed more aggressively. But yeah, this is just the format we're playing in. You adapt to it, you overcome it. Uro here is a 6-power creature, so it's going to kill Sorin if they don't have a vampire to put into play right now. If they do, and if they do have an Elenda, that sucks for me. But I still get to do a couple things next turn. I still get to exile the Elenda, maybe bounce the token that Elenda created, and then attack into the Sorin. That can then no longer grow the 3/2 that they play off the Elenda. So yeah, and then I still get to do. I don't get to do all that while holding up mana drain if I don't draw land, but I could draw land, right? So yeah, we just want to fade turn 1 spy, and I think that turn 1 grief is not it. You should not bank a hand off of turn 1 grief. Like that's just wrong in my opinion. That's just a misplay. No deck in Timeless right now is that weak that grief scam will like. That's not even a grief scam because grief scam gets rid of 2 of your opponent's cards. This is just a turn 1 grief. A turn 1 grief is not good enough. You need to either, at least, the weakest hand that this deck should keep is a scammed grief, so that you would discard 2 of the opponent's cards. But even then, I don't think it's. I think you should go for either a turn 1 Sorin or a turn 1 Spy. Or turn 2 Spy, right? So yeah, GG. Alright, opponent goes first with a Lurrus. Not really what we want to see. Really don't like going for second against Lurrus, but in their defense, it's just Arena, right? This hand is decent though. I'd rather have a removal spell here than like the Tamiyo, but this hand is okay. The Cosmic Rebirth's kind of late game, but that's fine, I think. We still get to obviously sculpt with the Bauble plus fetch land, so let's keep this one. But if they like turn 1 on Ragavan, it's pretty bad. But they're Dimir Lurrus, so that's actually very good for us. This should be a great hand against Dimir Lurrus. Henge is a very good card in the late game against them, which I didn't explain in the Decktech. Oops. But well, you guys have seen it before, so I'm gonna bubble myself here. I don't want that, so I'm gonna fetch, shock, play Tamiyo out because I might as well. Don't have a instant speed spur play. Oko is nice. Cosmic Rebirth also adds the inevitability of if they Thoughtseize me here and take Oko, I just discard it. I just get it back. They're playing some Sultai, but they're not Show and Tell because they have Lurrus. So they're playing some kind of Sultai control deck or Sultai maybe mid-range deck. More of a mid-range deck because of the Shaman. Not too happy to not see a counter spell here or something, or at least a removal spell. But we can draw a card with Tamiyo, so that's fine, I guess. We have a Tamiyo in play already, so we're allowed to play a slow game anyway, so that's fine for us. We'll take that. Thoughtseize me. Here we go. So they take Oko here, and that allows me to play instant speed Oko. So funny. Like, it's such a funny dynamic. They should take Cosmic Rebirth. They should definitely take Rebirth. They should not take Oko. But they also can't really risk me resolving an Oko, so it's just a lose-lose situation for them. Yep, they take Oko. Oko can't be exiled by Shaman, so we're fine. They get to make 2 mana. It's fine. Shaman good against Uro, but we're not there yet. I'm gonna draw a card to make up for that Thoughtseize, so I really am just chilling right now. I really don't care what's going on. I'm gonna keep this Passager around just in case, but usually against Simic you can play it out. It's not that necessary. But let's see what they do here. See what they have. They're roping. Just play your Psychic Frog, dude. Come on. Come on now. It's not that difficult. Just play your Psychic Frog. So I'll land from my graveyard. Sure. Black. Thoughtseize me again, so they're gonna take Cosmic Rebirth now. If they take Cosmic Rebirth though, that's fine because that's gonna they haven't taken Supreme Verdict, which they then can't counter when they have frogs in play. It's just all bad for them really, and they can't. They actually want to take Monumental Henge here, but they just can't because that's not a card that they're allowed to take with Thoughtseize. So yeah, I'm chilling like a villain here. I'm just gonna fetch my green source, chuck it in, and draw a card off of this. Another Tamir, not exactly what I want to see. That is a pretty bad set of draws, to be very honest with you. Let's draw a card. Let's draw a card. 6. Okay, that's pretty bad. I think I'm going to play this, get a Surveil land. Oh yeah, 6 can cast Ochre from the graveyard as well. That's also something that I have to watch out for. Pretty good stuff. They are thinking. I mean, they are in a decent spot though, because they did get to stick a Tamio. So they're going to be able to catch up on resources here. They might miss a land drop here though. If they miss a land drop, we're ahead. If they don't, it's pretty even. But I don't think I'm allowed to just slam 6. I also don't think I want a Supreme Verdict really. I'm gonna dig here. I want to find a good card basically. I want to find either a Mana Drain or maybe a Source of Plowshares or something to bait removal. If they brainstorm and flip a Tamio, that's actually very bad. Then we might even just behind. But we'll see. This guy's thinking a lot. There we go. Pass his turn. Alright. Let's see. Tickle's Archive. Wrath of the Skies. I don't want that. I don't want that. Mill it. Another 6. So I'm just drawing backup legendaries here, which is not great. Not amazing, but that's fine. I'm gonna play Monumental Henge. Then I'm gonna attack with Tamio. Now, if I play 6 into a Mana Drain, that's actually very bad for me. So I'm just gonna draw a card instead. If they play 6 into Mana Drain, they get Mana Drain mana, they can crack a Clue and flip Tamio. Bowmaster. Okay, sure. That's fine. It plays into my board wipe. We'll take that. That's fine. Static Prison. Okay, that's a good one. That's a decent one. Static Prison. What do I prison here? Do I prison their... Do I even prison anything? Do I prison their Clue token? I'm actually tempted to prison their Clue token. I think I actually will. Prison their Clue token here. Weird play, but I don't want them to get above 2 mana here. I want them to have to rely on the Death Threat to make mana. So I'm gonna prison that Clue token, then just let my prison die. That's what my prison is there for anyway, because I can just get it back with 6. And then next turn, I think I'm gonna Supreme Verdict, get rid of this board. Unless they Thoughtseize me and take my Supreme Verdict away, that would suck a little bit, but that's not too bad. What are you gonna do? Intercept, Death Ray, make mana, or like, what's the plan? What's the plan here? Death Ray, make mana, okay. Also, very nice of them to. It's good practice for them to just exile my land there because they don't know that. Well, they probably think that I'm an Uro deck because, you know, Bant. So that's why they're exiling lands of my graveyard so that they can like slowly kill my graveyard so I can't bring Uro back. Them hesitating here makes me believe that they missed another land drop, which is very good for me. That's like where I want us to be. I want them to be missing land drops. Why did they mill a mana drain? They must have a mana drain in hand. That's like the only reason they would like mill a mana drain, right? Alright, so far so good. Supreme Verdict is looking like it's gonna hit. Oh, blue mana? Brainstorm. That's really bad. They're gonna flip Tamir now. That sucks. That is not what we want to see, and it's likely gonna find them land too. So that's really bad for me. That's like not what I wanted to see at all. Unless they brick on land here, we're probably losing right in a losing position now. Because we're gonna have, bear in mind, we have to tap out for our board wipe. So we're gonna be like down cards. Not a great spot to be in, but we'll see. We shall see. The Tamio draw into 6/6 was a bit iffy. Like I would have rather liked to see Source the Plasters into 6 mana drain or something. That would have been a nicer draw. But it's fine. They're making big decisions here. I hope that means they didn't find a land. If they didn't find a land, we're doing really good, because that means they're brainstorm locked, so they will not have a land drop for the next 2 turns. That would be amazing, but we'll see. We'll see. Tamir flips. Plus Tamio. Oh, it's... No, I didn't. They found a land. Not a fetch land, so they don't get to change anything, but it sucks that they found a land. Go to my turn. I found a land. Decline, let them die. Gonna attack with this Tamio. Make clue. Verdict. I think this deck wins with creatures in the late game, right? So I think I'm actually going to put Verdict back on top with the Mystic Sanctuary. Okay, they're making a mana. Ended the turn. Oops. It's fine. I don't need to play Tamio this turn. I wanted to kind of... For some reason in my head, I was in pre-combat main phase, so I passed priority and ended the turn. But we'll see. They have another Bowmaster Resolve. Is it going to still pass to my end step? Even though they cast a spell? It doesn't. Okay, so I can play my Tamio here. I think I will. I'm gonna do this. Oh, Rebirth would be cool too, I guess. But I think I want to guaranteed wipe the board, because my life total is starting to get a little low. I still think they have a mana drain in hand, so I'm gonna play careful. But, yeah. They minus Tamio, right? Surely they minus Tamio for like a Thoughtseize or something, right? They might get a little greedy and plus Tamio. That's not impossible, but we'll see. By the way, if they don't, I might not even Supreme Verdict this turn. They plus Tamio. Okay, I don't think I'm going to Supreme Verdict. I don't think I will. I think I'm going to play a 6. It's definitely an interesting game. It's just because, like, I'm like 80% sure they have a mana drain in hand. Block. I'm 80% sure they have a mana drain in hand. And I've not drawn a mana drain of my own. Or a counterspell of my own. So I have to play this a little careful. Alright. Let's lead with a 6, I think. Let's lead with a 6. See if they want to counter it. Yep, thought so. Okay. Play Boseiju, play another 6. Bring back this for now. Actually, no, I won't, because that's actually kind of bad, because it triggers Bowmaster. Do I want to face the land in my hand? No. I'm also not going to attack. Alright. Get mana, drain mana. Do they buy Lurus or do they crack the clue? I think you should crack the clue. Definitely a tight game. They have some kind of removal spell here in Sultai. Pretty sure they only run Fatal Push, but obviously if they crack that clue, they can try and pay Fatal Push on. It's a little scary. They're thinking very hard about this. I think crack clue is a very obvious play, or at least by Lurus. So if they don't do the very obvious play, I'm wondering what they have in their hand that like is making them think about this. Timeout used. Like, what could they have in their hand that makes them think here? Like a treasure cruise or something? Like, yeah, just crack the clue token. It's not that hard. Are they through their brainstorm cards now? I think they should be. So now they're drawing fresh, so they can hit a land anytime. I don't think this is about lands anymore, though. Kind of a little bit. A little bit, because if they don't have land 4, they can't play. Okay, now we're cooking. This is the new card, right? Whenever a card leaves your graveyard during your turn, draw a card. Triggers once each turn. That's pretty cool. But then what do you get back? You get back Thoughtseize and take my board wipe. Okay, that's a cool idea. Cool play so far. But you can't Thoughtseize a land. And the land is actually better than the board wipe here. Ren. 6 has sneaky reach as well, so they can't even attack with their Bowmaster. Okay, Thoughtseize me. That's fine. I don't care. My best top deck is actually a land here, by the way. Like, unironically, my best top deck is a land. Because then I get to Static Prison and Oko. Oh, wow. Okay, GG. GG. Discard a land, cast Oko from the graveyard. Yep. That's the type of stuff I like. Yeah. Yeah. That is 6, man, buddy. Pack your removal spells, buddy. That's what you need to do. Flare of the Nile, counter Oko. That's fine. Because Oko was actually... Oh, wait, no, but Tamiyo doesn't ult anymore, so actually Oko is better. Yeah, Oko is better here. Yeah. Discard another land. Yep. Oko is better here. Attack Tamiyo. Mill. Didn't find a land, but that's fine. Okay, Tamiyo to 1, so Tamiyo can only plus now. We have Uro in the graveyard, which we can bring back, so that's nice. Our engine's on. Let's see if they can find theirs. That's a cool idea, though. Flare of Denial with Skimmer. That's a cool idea. Slacking Frog probably is better, but yeah, this Shaman is a little too late. Although they might have a mana drain ready for this Uro. That's not impossible. Do I elk the Bowmaster? I might. Brainstorm. That's fine. Probably still looking for lands. Yeah, that's the good thing about Retrace, right? As long as you have lands in hand, you just keep going. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. Okay, that's a land. What they put on top. I think we need 1 or 2 more good turns, and then we've pulled ahead so far that they can't win anymore. But we need those turns. We need some good turns here. I can't really attack if I Elk Bowmaster. So I think I'm gonna attack first, then Elk. The game got a lot harder for them with the 6 in play, because they don't really have a spell to kill 6 with. Flare on top is fine. Like, if you want to do that, that's... Yeah, they don't put that on top, so I thought. And then they play a frog. Okay. Sure. Yeah, that's a good draw. That's a good draw. Let's exile the frog right now. That's their Flare of Denial creature. Then I'm gonna escape Uro. Exile Brainstorm. What do I even exile here? I guess I exile some of the lands in my graveyard because I don't really need them anymore. And I guess I'll exile the backup 6. Sure. Exile these cards. Draw a card. I don't care about the Bowmaster ping here. That's fine. Actually, that isn't really fine because they make an army. That's actually kind of annoying. But I think it's okay though. The reason why I play Uro, maybe I play Uro post combat. Yeah, I probably play Uro post combat, right? Yeah. Yeah, that was a little bit of a misplay. Because I could have forced a block for their thing there. Alright, let's attack with everything, I think. Everything at Tamia, make them keep throwing things on the bus. If I draw a land, if I find a land with 6 as well, which I did, I get to cast the Static Prison from the graveyard anyway. So this Tamia is actually dead. This Tamia is actually dead, so they shouldn't block. But I don't know if they see the line. They shouldn't block because the Tamia is going to die anyway. Throw away one of those. And they bounce that. Okay, sure. Sure. Took the value engine. I'm gonna elk my clue. I'm just gonna keep elking my clues and make an army. Now next turn I'm gonna elk the Bowmaster and attack with Uro. And the cool thing is the permanents that I'm bringing back, like, you can't exile them with Deathrite. So, exiling the lands doesn't matter, because 6 only gives you back the lands that you mill with the ability. So that main phase exile a land, do nothing, is actually not going to do anything for them. Attack. So they want to activate Fatal Push. Yeah, nice try. Okay, I have enough loyalty to not care about that. They don't get the Tamia back because they have 4 energy. Toxic Deluge, sure. As if that's good. Back up to Deathrite, sure. Take action. Back it comes. I'm gonna exile a Bauble, exile maybe a counterspell. Maybe Brainstorm, exile one of the Tamios, and exile one of the Wraths. Another Ogre, not exactly what I need, but that's fine. Do I care about this Deathrite? Not really. Gonna elk it anyway, just in case, because an elk is worse than Uro, so let's see what they do. This is pre-One Ring, by the way. So I need to draw like a counterspell. Okay, they can't even draw a counterspell anymore. Tamia off the top is decent, but now I get to Legend Rule them and elk for Tamia. It's like kind of just over for them, really. So I decline, they Legend Rule, I elk the Tamia to keep. This is why Oko is so powerful, by the way, if you didn't know. Kind of annoying that they get a Lurus here, but they can't really do anything with it unless they top deck a land. Legend Rule. You're not allowed to control 2 Tamia Inquisitive Student. Also, they can't even just take this hit. So I attack with Oko first. They decide whether they want to throw away their Shaman or their Tamio. They can't even just tank the Uro hits for too long because Uro is just going to kill them in 2 hits. Then I have all the options. I just play a One Ring this turn though. I'm just going to play a One Ring. Have One Ring advantage. And yeah, just, yeah. This game was solely brought to you by 6. 6 just, I had 2 6s. They answered the first one. I had the second one down, and they just didn't have an answer in Sultai, and I just took over the game with it. Like the fact that I can just recast spells from the graveyard with lands in my hand, it's just lands are the dead draws in the late game, and 6 says that your lands are just the cards you have in your graveyard. So that is always going to be good. Yeah, GG's. And we are back for the post-game chat. And while I never actually had to reach for Yorion, it is very nice to have that extra card in the sideboard. Again, let me know if you guys want to see Explorer Jessica super friends with Yorion at Fires of Invention. But that being said, this deck feels very good. It feels very strong. I think it's definitely like a tier 2 deck. Obviously, because you just have to concede the matchup with Usul spells if they have a turn 1 win, that's a bummer. This deck is one of those decks that will definitely benefit from Force of Negation, because you have a lot of blue cards just incidentally in your deck. And yeah, I think 6 is a powerful engine that is seeing not a lot of play in Timeless. I think it should definitely see more play in Timeless. Giving your permanent cards retrace is a very powerful effect. And yeah, obviously it's on a 3-mana creature that really doesn't really have... It has good blocking stats, so that's why I think it's more of a control creature. But yeah, I think 6 is a good card. Definitely underplayed right now in Timeless. But then again, in Timeless you can do broken things like turn 1 moves or spells win. So, but yeah, I like going back to Mishra's Bauble's main deck. This reminds me a lot of the NBH format, the No-Ban Historic format that they did before Timeless was a thing. You would play 4 Mishra's Baubles and then just use them. There weren't even fetch lands in that game mode, but 4 Mishra's Baubles in a control deck just feels good because you have that extra selection and a little bit of extra information of your opponents. And yeah, it's just, I think Mishra's Bauble is a great card. It's just not, you just don't have, it's like an extra, if that makes sense. Basically, this card is a free cantrip, right? So it's as if we're playing a 76 card deck and not an 80 card deck. That's what it does. But it also gives you like a little bit of extra selection with your fetch lands. So it's just a good thing to have in your deck. But in 60 card decks, you don't have the space for it, so that's why you don't play in 60 card decks, in my opinion. That's why I don't play them in my main deck in 60 card decks. But I like Mishra as a card. I think it's a great card. It makes some cool stuff. It's an elk for Oko. It cantrips for you. And yeah, I think it's a good card. And it comes back with 6, obviously. That's why I'm playing it. It's a permanent spell that draws a card that you can sacrifice for free. So that just synergizes really well with like graveyard loop effects. But yeah. That being said, not much more to say on this deck. I think it's really sweet. One of you in the comments did say you wanted to see a Yorion deck. Not exactly this one. You wanted more of an Azorius one. But I'm still building that. I haven't found a build that I'm happy with yet, because the thing with that deck is that, like, because it's 80 cards, you either draw only counter spells and lose to aggro, or draw only removal spells and lose to combo. But I'll work on it. I'm building it. Also, is it just me, or are the mana symbols like really messed up? Like, is it like not zoomed out enough? But whatever. That being said, that's pretty much it from me. Let's go open a pack and end the video. All right, we have a Dragon Storm pack here. I have 4 Ugin Eye of the Storm, so I actually don't even know what I'm looking for in this set anymore. There's a really cool combo deck with, I forgot the name. It's a Temur creature that makes your spells cost 1 less during your turn for every creature with power 4 or greater. I think it's called Battle Crier or something. Temur Battle Crier. So I really want to try and make a combo deck with that, but I don't want to craft them, so let's see if we get it. Got a rare. And it is... well, Revival of the Ancestors. Not necessarily a Timeless playable card, but could be played in like an Explorer deck maybe. Creatures you control gain trample, life until turn. Nah, this can't see play. It doesn't draw a card. Anyway, that's pretty much it from me. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah. Peace.